second, but first, LeBron catching the alley-oop from Jeff Green's inbounds pass. Boom.
The only way you saw this live is if you were in the arena.
Yes.
We were in some highlight or some graphics package when this play happened.
Definitely not going to win an Emmy for that telecast part of it. No, LeBron made a great read. Him and Jeff Green make eye contact with each other. He goes back during the out of bounds and finishes on top of his head.
Ooh, DeMar DeRozan hits the tough reverse layup, 2 of his 22 on the night.
DeRozan was good, not great. Which is one of the problems the Raptors had last night. I felt like he could have. I feel like he should have been more aggressive. I feel like when Lowry's only going to take 12 shots, DeRozan had the opportunity to take more than the 20 he took.
Oh, Pelicans Warriors Anthony Davis with the yam, and Nick, he didn't have to jump 20 feet to catch this pass for once.
Because Rondo's the one passing.
Perfect pass.
Rondo throws you the perfect pass. It's the Solomon Hill, each one more alley-oops that make me, oh no, what's happening?
Over 2 Warriors. Clay's up under him. Draymond coming from the backside. This is, quietly, this is a nice, spectacular play.
Oh, absolutely. And, Draymond played AD great last night.
Hey, welcome back, Steph Curry. Saves the ball from a backcourt violation and then, splashes the 3.
How many feet is that?
It was listed at 32 is what they said on the official box score. However many...
Did they move the three-point line back?
Right, that's why I didn't think it was 32. It seemed like it was, but that's what it was listed in the play-by-play. You know how many feet it was, those, CC? Steph Curry feet. That's what it was. Because that's the Steph Curry shot. It's those types of plays that made him famous.
Did you see him warming up before the game? Not out of the tunnel. 3 in a row from half court.
Oh, I thought Andy was doing hoodie Steph. Hoodie Melo's gone now. There was hoodie Steph before the game.
He was so rusty, guys. Rusty.
Oh, my
All right, let's dive in a little deeper. Warriors Pelicans game 2 last night. The long-awaited return of that guy, Steph Curry. Good news, bad news when he gets hurt. Bad news, it hurts. Good news, he seems to come back like a man on a mission. So 2 years ago, first came back after missing a few weeks with a sprained knee, 40 points. Last night, first game back after missing a few weeks with a sprained knee, 28 points in 27 minutes. What? Warriors won game 2, 121-116. They take a 2-0 series lead. Steph spoke after the game about returning to the floor.
Real eager as of late, trying to get back out there and be with my teammates and do what I love to do. So to get back out there on the floor, play some playoff basketball, and get a big win tonight. It was huge. It was a good feeling. The crowd was crazy, and obviously we did what we needed to do in these first 2 games, going up 2-0, and we got to have our game travel to New Orleans.
I don't know how many of us thought, well, he's probably going to come back and be rusty and not really be able to hit anything, because that's not his track record. But, Nick, how impressive was his performance? What you saw last night, just spot on.
How impressive was Steph Curry? Steph Curry was Steph Curry impressive. A locked-in, dialed-in Steph Curry, which is one of the 5 most terrifying offensive forces in the history of this great game. Steph Curry, when he is firing on all cylinders, I'm not sure exactly what you're supposed to do with him. And this is one of the reasons why a couple years ago when he came back from the injury and scored the 40 and then struggled a bit in the finals, I got so aggravated. We were like, Steph wasn't at full strength. I don't know what full strength is for Steph Curry. Here's what I do know. When he plays, no matter how long the layoff is, no matter what injury he's coming back from, whether it's an MCL or an ankle, whatever it is, when he's out there, he's petrifying. He was the difference in the game last night. We can show you the numbers in a little bit later on in the segment, but him on and off the court was the difference in the game. The way the Pelicans were on a bit of a run, you know how, CC, the Warriors stopped the run? They didn't call timeout. They subbed Steph Curry into the game for the first time. And the Warriors instantly went on a 5-0 run, and the crowd got into it. He was spectacular.
Yeah, Steph had the benefit, too, because he's playing on such a great team, that they didn't have to force him to start the game. And him coming off the bench, it allowed, because that initial, when you're trying to come back from an injury, you can force your body to try to do the things that you're not necessarily comfortable at doing. And starting the game is not necessarily the best entry point when you've been off for over a month. So I thought that Steve Kerr did a tremendous job of letting the game find its flow. He didn't put Steph in to stop the run. He had a time that he was going to put him in there because that was the plan. So to see Steph play the number of minutes that he did play, you know he's going to be able to shoot. He's the greatest shooter that's ever played in the NBA.
Right.
So you know that's going to be there. But his overall playmaking, you could see that in what it adds to this team. And when they play together, their ability to be able to pass the basketball and make shots, the sets that they run are tremendous. I mean, even late in the game where this game is tight, they have out-of-bounds play. They post up Kevin Durant. They throw it into him. Draymond and Steph do a scissors, and they pass to Steph. He knocks down one. It's like, man, I haven't seen him run that play in a long time. So what they can do and what Steph adds to it, he's a special player, and that's why they have the championships that they have.
And I'm glad you mentioned Draymond, because I don't want to disregard him. He's playing his best basketball of the season at the best time of the season. He had a triple-double.
Well, he has 2 games. The first round wasn't a great round.
No, I really
These 2 games.
It's exactly what I'm talking about. He had triple-double in the first game of this series. He was a rebound away from triple-double last night. Anthony Davis, he totally neutralized Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis was 4 for 13 from the field when Draymond was guarding him. So Draymond was great. But I just want to show the audience what the Warriors' offense was with and without Steph. Steph only played 28 minutes. So 20 minutes without him, 28 minutes with him. Their offensive rating was 130 when he's on the court. The NBA record all-time for a season is 116. Without him, it was 72. The Suns this year, the worst offense in basketball, were about 98. So they're way above the all-time record with them on the court, way below the worst team in the league with them off the court. Shoot 43% from 3 versus 17% from 3. By the way, it's not they shot 17 threes without him on the court. They just couldn't make them. They were 2 different teams last night with and without him.
You made an interesting point while we were watching Kevin Durant and Steph Curry in the press conference, and you said, look how much pressure that takes off Kevin Durant. Not that KD goes into a game feeling the pressure and can't perform because of it, because he has been the one to carry the team. But what does a performance like what we saw last night from Steph do for someone like Kevin Durant, who never wanted to really be the face of this team?
Man, he's cool. That's his personality. Like, we don't want to accept it sometimes, but he don't necessarily want the limelight. He just wants to play basketball the way he said. At the press conference, he loved it. A lot of questions were directed to Steph. Man, he was just sitting there chilling. He's played a good game. But, hey, no, he didn't do nothing. He only had 29 points.
Right.
You know, so that is the luxury of going to Golden State. That's the reason why I respect the decision that he made, to be able to play with the shooters, to play the style of basketball, to not be under the microscope and the pressure if he had gone other places. Yeah, I understand that because he's playing to his strong suit. That's really his personality, and he's living his own truth. And I got to respect that.
And think about just what Steph did for this team in yesterday's game specifically. The Pelicans starters, we know they got a weak bench, and it showed up last night. Every single one of their starters had at least 14. They had 3 starters with at least 20. Klay Thompson has his worst game in 2 months. He's 4 of 20 from the field for 10 points. And this is a game the Warriors are up 13 with a few minutes left. I know they ended up winning by 5. Pelicans went on a mini run at the end to cut it to 6 with about 30 seconds left. But the Warriors were in firm control for the bulk of the fourth quarter. Why? Because KD can get a quiet 29. Yes. Draymond can do everything on both sides of the ball, well, particularly defensively, I should say, but also passing and rebounding the ball.
Yeah, Draymond played a great game.
Draymond was outstanding. And then Steph just rips your heart out. Jenna, you've heard Chris and I talk all the time about the gravity Steph has. You see it when he's out there. How much easier are the passing lanes for the Warriors? Because you're playing 4-on-4 if he doesn't have the ball. Because his man has to be 30 feet from the basket. Like, it's just, I mean, the Death Star that the Warriors lineup can be was fully engaged last night. And the whole league's on notice. The entire league, and by the entire league, we're really talking about Houston. Houston's the team that's been circling them. That's what we're looking at.
All right, we'll watch this again, Game 3, Friday night at New Orleans, where the series will shift there. Coming up, talk some football. Just how much has Des Bryant declined? Next on First Things First.
I'm going to have to Google Death Star. You said that a couple times.
Hey.